Let's go to Parliament. Today, there was a press briefing by the minority caucus. They say they have filed an application contesting the contempt of court ruling by the Koforidua High Court presided over by Justice Senior Ayeka against Akwatia Member of Parliament, Ns Yaokumi. You recall that Ns Yaokumi was yesterday convicted of contempt after defying an interim injunction that barred him from being sworn in as Member of Parliament. Despite the court's directive and order, he proceeded to take the oath of office on 7 January 2025. His refusal to appear before the court for sentencing led to the issuance of a bench warrant for his arrest yesterday. Yesterday, the minority leader, Alexander Kwame spoke to the parliamentary press corps and he said they were yet to get full details of the ruling. Listen.
We've become aware of the Koforidua High Court's decision. We are yet to procure the court ruling and the orders of the court. The lawyers are going to brief the caucus and we will come out with our position on the matter. Meanwhile, I'm sure all necessary steps will be taken to ensure that our colleague is law-abiding and ensure that the right thing is done. But we have to say that we are dissatisfied with the approach and we think that he has been treated unfairly. We would come out fully with our position when we receive full briefing from the lawyers. Thank you very much indeed.
So that's the minority leader, Osahin Alexander Kwame Apenyo Market. So after receiving that full briefing, today, Ns Yaokumi showed up on the floor of Parliament. He even made a statement or contributed to one. After that, there was a press briefing by the second deputy minority whip, Jerry Ahmed Shaib.
At this stage, let me state further that legal steps have been taken and a notice of appeal has been filed against the ruling of the High Court at the Court of Appeal. An application for stay of execution pending appeal has also been filed at the High Court, number 3, Koforidua. Moreover, all the parties to the certiorari and prohibition application, including the judge, His Lordship Justice Emmanuel Senior Amedehe, who is the respondent to this application before the Supreme Court, have been duly served. Further legal steps would be taken and the minority caucus in Parliament will address the Ghanaian public on the way forward. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, Ghana's democracy thrives on fairness, the rule of law, and the principles of justice. The actions taken against Honorable Ernest Yaokumi threaten not only his rights, but also the very foundation of our democratic processes and principles. The judicial system must not be weaponized to serve partisan interest or undermine the will of the people of Akwatia.
Member of Parliament for Weja Bawe and also second deputy minority whip Jerry Ahmed Shaib. Still in Parliament, there was an exclusive interview with my colleague Havila Kekeli, where the deputy majority leader Kweku Ricketts-Hagan divulged information about when they intend to start the vetting of deputy minister nominees.
Well, I think we are at the tail end of it, and we'll be ready to start the vetting next week, Monday, on the 24th. So by that day, all the things that need to be in place will be in place. And then we'll start. As you know, there are mainly deputy ministers, a few state ministers of state in it. But on Monday, we will start and then take a number in a day and probably be able to finish by Thursday or Friday. Well, you know, some positions on the appointment committee are actually statutory. So those will be there. I'm the vice chairman, and by virtue of the fact that I'm the deputy majority, you know. So, I mean, so there will not be surprises on the statutory positions, but maybe I cannot speak for my friends on the other side. But maybe, I don't know, there may be changes if they need be. No, I think most of these most of these committees are based on numerical strength, and that's what it will reflect, in terms of the ratios.
That's a Deputy Majority Leader, Kweku Ricketts Hagan. Today there was a first meeting of President John Mahama's cabinet since assuming office on January 7, 2025 at the Jubilee House. It was attended by key ministers. Let me run through the list of cabinets. That's the Minister for Finance, Dr. Kaisa Latofo-Singh, Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, Minister for Health, Kwabena Minta Kando, Minister for Defense, Dr. Edward Kofi Omane-Boama, Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Akorintinga Ayeni, Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullahi Jinapo, Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofuswe-Jare, Minister for Land and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Lama Kofi-Boa, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, Minister for Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel Nate George, Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Gavin Sagboja, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, Minister for Works, Housing and Water Resources, J. Kenneth Gilbert, Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim. There's also the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Namomolate, Minister for Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikpe, and the Minister of Labor, Jobs and Employment, Abdul Rashid H. Pelpo. So that's the list of the cabinet ministers. Minister of State in charge of government communications, Felix Kwakye Fosu, briefed the media after the meeting.
On the first session of cabinet under President John Dramani Mahama. As you may be aware, cabinet is an important decision-making body of government, perhaps the most important. And every president is required by the Constitution to compose a cabinet. And that cabinet, once composed, must begin regular meetings to fashion out policy and determine the direction of governance. So, as a first requirement, President Mahama has composed his cabinet. And as you may be aware, the constitutional requirement is that cabinet must be made up of 19 ministers. And so the first point of business is to put together this body of 19 ministers, chaired by the president himself. And I would proceed to announce the names of the 19 ministers who form the cabinet. First on the list is the Minister for Finance, the Minister for the Interior, Minister for Health, Minister for Defense, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, the Minister for Education, the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Minister for Food and Agriculture, Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, the Minister for Roads and Highways, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Minister for Works, Housing and Water Resources, Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Minister for Transport, Minister for Labor, Jobs and Employment. So these are the 19 ministers who form cabinet together with the president. Now, apart from these 19 ministers, other ministers are made to attend, and so you find that the discretion for that would be in attendance. So the following ministers were
Felix Kwasi Fosu also gave an update on the plans for the 24-hour economy and the current economic situation.
Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Minister of State in charge of special initiatives, and my good self, the Minister for State responsible for government communications, the Minister of State for Climate Change and Sustainability, and Minister of State Public Sector. Imprudent decision making was commonplace. In a few days' time, President Mahama will be addressing Parliament. He will be delivering a message on the state of the nation to Parliament, and he will take the opportunity to delve deep into our current economic state, what we inherited, and what plans there are going forward to ensure economic revival and resuscitation. A few days after that, the National Economic Dialogue will take place from the 3rd to 4th March, and there too, various stakeholders in our economy, drawn from academia, civil society organizations, public servants, public officials, and other interested parties in the Ghanaian economy will meet to deliberate on the state of affairs, and there too, further insights will be shared on the state of the economy and how we can collectively achieve consensus on the steps that need to be taken to ensure that we get out of the situation and are on the road to rapid economic growth and development. And then on the 11th of March, the finance minister will present his first budget, which would again explain the situation and
that's the Minister of State in charge of government communication.